Wow, so the Bitcoin and Ethereum sell-off has continued to happen like Pablo has predicted. Did you get out in time? Did you take some profits off the table as Pablo was warning 4 days ago? Now, this is actually a good signal for whether altcoin season is happening or not, believe it or not. And you might be thinking, what? Bitcoin's dropping here. What are you talking about, Pablo? You're talking about altcoin season. Let me show you guys what's happening here. So altcoin season, as defined by many people, is basically when Bitcoin dominance breaks down, right? And here is actually a great test of Bitcoin dominance, because as Bitcoin's dropping, are altcoins dropping just as much as Bitcoin? If ETH stays strong, if XRP, Solana, those altcoins, especially in the top 10, stay strong, and Bitcoin just drops by itself, right? Another 5 or 10%, then that would confirm an altcoin season. So here, the reason why it's been tricky is all this time, right? Let me say it again. By the way, today I'm gonna show you guys lots of charts of what's happening in the markets right now. It's the whales that are actually dumping. So look at this, some major whales coming in to dump in the last 12 hours as I'm recording this, right? But before we get onto the whales and the on-chain signals, let me explain why this could actually prove to us altcoin season is happening. For altcoin season to happen, right, for official confirmation, we need Bitcoin to drop and we need altcoins to stay strong, right? That has never happened before, not really in this season, this cycle. So far we are possibly seeing that. And look at this. This major trend line has supported this entire Bitcoin run this whole time, right? The only time we got anything close to there were two instances where we got close to an altcoin season, and that was when this signal broke down, right? When Bitcoin dominance breaks down like this, then that means Bitcoin goes down and alts go up, and that means, relatively speaking, and that means the altcoin season. But this turned out to be a fake out, and we're now once again, right here, in an exact crucial position. And in fact, someone showed on the charts that if you were to follow Bitcoin dominance with like a 70-day moving average, then the line goes something like through here. It bounced off the 70-day moving average right there, and it's bouncing off the 70-day moving average as well. So very crucial. But even more crucial than that, have a look at this. I want to show you guys this. Look. Last time, Bitcoin dominance broke down, turns out to be a fake out. This time, some people are thinking breaks down and turns out to be a fake out, and we get back above, right? And turns out another fake out to altcoin season. And remember, this only happened once in this entire cycle. Previous to that, the whole time, it was just Bitcoin dominance rising and rising and rising, Bitcoin dominance. So what I want to show you guys is this. We've had like 6-7 days of big red bars in a row, and Bitcoin dominance drops below support, right? Just like here. And then we have this big bounce up, right? Bitcoin dominance looks like, could be a fake out. Big bounce up, looks like it could be a fake out. And then the next day is this doji bar in red, right? Just like the next day here is a doji bar here. And then we have another day or two of a small drop, and then the bottoms, and boom, up we go. Here, so far this is playing out, and if we bottom here, and boom, up we go, and eventually get back above this red line, then that's looking pretty bad for altcoin season. So I would watch out heavily on if we get a repeat here, right? Personally, I don't think we get a repeat here, because this was like back in December, and right now, 7 months later, we just have so many positive policies, laws that are actually passed. The Stablecoins Genius Act, the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Act. Trump is knee-deep in crypto himself. If crypto doesn't work, if stablecoins doesn't work, if Bitcoin doesn't go up, if ETH doesn't go up, then he doesn't make money. Then Trump doesn't make money, right? So I'm betting that this does not repeat, although I can't be 100%, and we need to watch out for this very carefully, because it's looking like So far, a exact repeat of history, although I'm thinking it won't play out that way. I think it's going to be fake out, right? Down, retest, fake out, and then boom. Something like this, maybe even, and then boom, down we go. And everybody's going to say crazy alt season starting. And before we get to all the whale charts I'm going to show you guys today, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo He-Man use? Well, Pablo uses exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. So that means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, the FBI, CIA, nobody can see you. Just on Pablo's link, deposit and get up to 20%, right? Bonus. Deposit $100 US, get 20%, 20 USDT futures bonus. Deposit $1,000 and get $200 futures bonus. And chance to win up to $18,000 just by trading. Okay, this deal finishes on 12th of August. And if you're watching on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. And if you're watching on any other platform, such as this one, then that's okay. Just click on my profile page, and that should be the stand link or the link tree that pops up, and it should be the first deal that pops up right there. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. And remember, this deal is only on the Pablo He-Man link, only on this link. Okay. Now with Bitcoin itself, my thinking was at the time, and I told folks in my Discord, that we are probably going down in a what I would call a bull flag. That's the optimistic scenario. Bull flag is somewhere around 114, even high 113s, like say 113.7, 113.9, and then we bounce and up we go. But the invalidation point for me is somewhere around 110.3, 110.5. I really, really hope we don't get there and then bounce. This is what's called a retest, and that's perfectly fine. We can do a retest of 110.5 here and then bounce up. That's fine. We can do that, and we can still have a big run up. But it's best if we don't, because what happens is this. The biggest bull runs is when you do not come back to retest. Why is that? Because here, some people sold, or some people didn't know whether they should buy, or they're sitting on the sidelines and price goes up, and then they're waiting for this pullback, for this retest, and they've got buy orders here. You come back, they buy here, and up we go, right? And then by the time we get up to here to 120, 130, then there's no more people to buy, because the people who are sitting on the sidelines already bought back in around where they sold off, where they sold. So for the most bullish scenario is if you don't come back, right, and the folks who sold here or who are on the sidelines here decided, okay, I'm going to see if it comes back for a retest, I'm going to buy here, and then up we go again. If they don't buy here, then they'll wait, and eventually Bitcoin gets to like 125, 130K, and then they can't wait anymore, and they psychologically break down, and they FOMO 130K. That's when it gets to pushed up to 135, 138, 140, 145K. That's the blow off top. So we don't want folks here to get filled back in. We want them to FOMO back in and be rocket fuel here in the 125, 130, 140K area. So that's the theory. Okay, so for our folks who I've also spoken about, Bitcoin dominance here, right? So let's have a look at ETH versus Bitcoin. This is another crucial chart, and in my video from 2 or 3 days ago, I said this level 0.031 would be pretty strong. That's called the 0.037 would be pretty strong and be pretty hard to break down from here. Next support level, major support level, is around here, 0.026. I personally don't see it going down there. If it did go down there, that's kind of weak, but it can still bounce off here and go up because we're still having a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, but it's not the best looking pattern. So if we do this dip below here, now I've said there is some support, not a lot, but some support at this 0.029 area. Why? Because this area, these tops, are 0.029. So we might bounce off this area. We kind of came close, and we probably can still come down here, bounce off 0.029, and then up we go. So that's the Ethereum Bitcoin chart to watch. Ethereum essentially needs to keep on going up and strengthening against Bitcoin. That's the signal for an altcoin season. Okay, let's have a look at what the whales are up to and why this selling is happening right now. The whales who are selling is this this mob called Galaxy Digital. Galaxy Digital is started by this crypto whale called Mike Novogratz. People might remember last crypto cycle, he actually tattooed Luna, Luna, on his body. And because, it made a lot of dosh on Luna, and then of course Luna crashed and he ended up looking like a clown. But he's still, one of the largest whales in Bitcoin and crypto, and he's like a massive VC fund. They invested in Solana, Matic, and of course Luna. So they do a lot of market making. They allow a lot of their over-the-counter trades, OTC trades. They facilitate a lot of that. So they're a whale. And they just moved, look at this. These are address inflows or address outflows. And look at this. There's nothing on the chart that even looks remotely close to this. They moved altogether about 37,000 Bitcoins. Think about that for a second. 37,000 Bitcoins. It's 32,000 Bitcoins, which equals to about $3.7 billion. $3.7 billion, right? They've flown out of his address. Looks like they went into some exchanges, different exchanges. And here's been confirmed. Bitcoin, Binance Exchange net inflows. So it's flown out of the Galaxy's wallet, right? And it's flowing into the Binance exchange. Usually when you move a few $1 billion in Bitcoin, you don't do it for fun. It's kind of like if you transferred $3.7 billion from your company to the NASDAQ exchange or to a broker. You didn't do that just for fun. So chances are they're there to sell. There's two interpretations to this. They could be selling to get the F out, to get into cash, or we could be optimistic and say, okay, well, they just want to buy lots of ETH, they want to buy lots of Solana or XRP, whatever, they want to buy lots of memes, hypothetically, and they're selling out of Bitcoin to buy or rotate into Ethereum and ENS, Uni, Sushi. We could be optimistic and say that is the case. That could happen. That could actually happen. I mean, this is what I was talking about all along with the altcoins, altcoin season and the Bitcoin dominance going down. That's that chart I was showing you guys at the start of the video. Okay, so we can see Bitcoin exchange flows. This is not just Binance. This is all exchanges, and we see massive spike ups. The last massive spike up that came this close was like June 18th or June 19th, but that was 1 or 2 bars. This is like a bunch of them all coming in together. Lots of coins from whales like Galaxy are going onto the exchanges. No doubt about that. But however, this is the silver lining. This is one thing that I find optimistic about this situation. A lot of the people who are selling are short-term holders. So obviously, Novogratz and Galaxy, they're not a short-term seller. They're whales. But look at this. This is short-term holders lost to exchange in last 24 hours. The price they're selling is at a loss to these short-term holders in the last 24 hours. And we see that whenever this thing spikes down, we're kind of near a bottom. This was the bottom at 100K, big spike down here. And this was the bottom at 98K. And then we ran up to 123K. And then we had another big spike down. So short-term holders are selling and selling at a loss again. And today, short-term holders sold 26,000 Bitcoins at a loss, right? So the comfort we take away from this, that it's not the, I mean, yeah, some whales are selling, but it's also not just the whales, but also short-term holders are selling. And we all know short-term holders don't make a lot of money. They tend to lose money. They tend to sell at the wrong times. So they're having a big sell right now, and they're selling at a loss. So usually that's kind of a good sign that this is probably not a very sustained move, and they're probably not going to, they're probably wrong in predicting a market top, or wrong to sell here, because there's a very good chance the market could get higher and above them, above the price they're selling later on. So that's why it's important to look at the fact it's short-term holders selling. This is the age of the Bitcoin being moved. 7 to 10 years. And folks who in my Discord, folks who watch my videos knows how much I think that is important. 7 to 10 year Bitcoin sales. So basically, we can see that there's a couple of massive spikes here. Didn't quite work right away. Bitcoin kept on climbing from 105k to 123k. And now we're seeing another big spike here, and usually if we get another one or two of these, usually this signals a deeper pullback. So then we won't just stop at 114k, we could go to like below 110k, and we don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So yeah, the with the situation with ETH, I've spoken about in my last couple of videos. I said 3,300 would be the ultimate support level, because that's where the big red trend line is. I'm not thinking that we definitely get there. I hope we don't get there, but it is possible that I said the resistance support is around this 3,500. Right, theoretically it's high 3,500s, but it'll wick down to like low 3,500 as it has done here, and this support level right here is 3,300. You've got the blue horizontal line and the red rising trend line as well. Just going to show folks what this red trend line looks like. It looks like this, right? Big red trend line supported ETH for this time. All this time we broke down, then we got above it. Makes sense for us to bounce off it again. We may not get there. If we do, I would expect this to be defended heavily, this 3,300 or high 3,200 area. But however, we may not even get there, and buyers might front run this dip and then get in. But so far, what I've gotten correct is I told folks a week ago to take some profits, because a number of signs are showing us a pullback is coming. Made 3 or 4 videos about it and told folks, I said, it's not finished yet. I can't assure you that it has finished. I don't see signs that it has finished, so we could see more of a pullback. And that's what we're seeing today. Bitcoin dropped to 115k. Okay, I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you next episode.